So welcome back. Me and Alex. Alex, please unmute you. Welcome to speak and with me about the subject. So mostly strategies from regenerative farms. We're gonna also give a lot of examples about strategies and techniques from regenerative farms around the globe. There are some regenerative farms around the globe that they have quite a history, years, I can say. That we apply in our new farm, Sol și Suflet is called, meaning soil and soul. Regenerative farm in Romania. It's somewhere close from Bucharest, like 75 kilometers west, northwest. So what is regenerative agriculture? And I think the answer to this, if you Google it, is not there is not a common definition for regenerative agriculture yet, and I think this is good, still good. It's still defining. At the same time, there is a tension because big companies like chemicals companies are trying to hijack the movement, and we're gonna see how it's gonna what's gonna happen in the next few years. So one of the definition from Rodel Institute is regenerative agriculture describes farming and grazing, they say, practice that among other benefits reverse climate change by rebuilding soil organic matter and restoring degraded soil biodiversity. So the buzzword, the most important buzzword is the soil healthy and the soil regeneration. Put it in the context of, put it in a global context where we have our culture crisis, the climate change. Definitely we see this as a solution to climate change, but that so from my point of view, it's not only about climate change. It's mostly let's stick to the soil. It's about healthy soil, and the discussion will be how we can have healthy soil in the same time having a sustainable business. This is the big tension is, we all speak about sustainability, but the one important aspect of sustainability is the economic part. So it's possible to have so but our own definition for regenerative agriculture would be, let's say, this one. This is the definition that me and Alex made it in this framework of the project. So we are working with this. I think every farm is defining their story about regenerative agriculture. So
there's about 50 definitions actually. There's a paper. There's some scientists who researched the term regenerative agriculture as defined by many farms all around the globe. And there's about 50 things that agriculture does, that regenerative agriculture does. However, we kept it simple. We tried to minimize and go with the principles. And we came up with this. So it's about well, actually, let me talk about the term regenerative, the paradigm of regeneration. First, back in the 50s, everything was conventional. Everything was, there's only one way to do this. Business must grow bigger. We have to make more, produce more. Then people started finding out that we were actually damaging the earth and the soil and our natural habitat. And then things became, okay, there's the conventional way and the sustainable way. The way we can sustain, we can keep doing this with a little bit of tweaking. And then that was also not enough. And then people found out that that was also not enough. And then apparently came this regenerative paradigm, which is not about stopping the destruction, but implementing the regeneration. actually. Not, it's another point of view. It's a more productive point of view and proactive point of view. And yeah, our definition starts, okay, and then there's the ecological certification, which looks at the quality of the product and also at some farming practices, which concerns soil and food, the product's quality. And we're trying to build on that and add more concern to the soil, returning carbon to the soil, because through current agricultural practices, even in ecological farming, heavy tillage, chemical fertilizer, chemical herbicides were replaced by lots and lots of tillage, crushing the weeds or something like that. So we're trying to minimize that also. There's this CO2 returning to the plant, returning to the soil. We're trying to grow organic matter to put it back into the soil. All the soil we see out there is eroded. Soil does not look like that. That's bare ground. We're farming. That is just bare ground we're farming, which is devoid of organic matter, or it has a 0.3% organic matter, which is not at all fun. That's not soil. And we're trying to rebuild the soil. Everywhere you look on the planet, on the soil, we need 15 centimeters more of organic matter, which means degraded organic matter, leaves, crop residues, animal droppings, all mixed with carbon matter and turned into organic matter by the soil microorganisms and the microfauna. And then you have the Global Animal Partnership logo, which means restore the pigness of the pig. If you're farming animals, create a habitat for the animals that mimics the natural ecosystem in which they live in. There are farms which graze animals and raise animals in the as close to the natural ecosystem where the animal is born, and they also handle all of the waste product, like the manures of the animals, go back to the soil. All their droppings go back to the soil, and they take advantage of the animals' natural way of behaving to induce change to the ecosystems. For example, they use pigs to clear out forests. They use cows or sheep or other grazing animals to cut grass, etc., etc. And also, okay, we looked at the soil, we looked at the product. Yeah, nice healthy product, nice healthy soil, happy animals, and there's the fair trade icon, because in modern agriculture, as in many other industries, large scale, like global scale industries, there's a lot of, let's say, exploitation of the workforce. A lot of people being exploited, underpaid, overworked, abused, and we don't want that to happen anymore. So we're creating a new culture based on permaculture's principle of people care, which begins with taking care of yourself, taking care of myself, setting a healthy schedule so that I can be in tip-top shape, so I can take care of other people who maybe do not have the same power to take care of themselves. And we'd like to extend that in way further by establishing a way of working within the farm and of working with ourselves, so that we, in our fully empowered form, can go back and take care of the animals, soil, and food, so we can be once again healthy and restore the soil, regenerate the soil and everything around us to a more paradisiac state, let's say. If you look at us, we were born in a garden, the Garden of Eden, if you believe in that. I think it's a nice metaphor, and I'm trying to get back to the garden. So yeah, let's talk more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Can I do
recapping this? Yeah, please.
Yeah, and Ionuț was talking about business. Okay, we see all of this. Okay, we want to be good, we want to take care of the planet, but there's also a business aspect to it, because we're competing in a market. And there's also the term of ethical investments. So to all of this care, I would add the moral investment, ethical investments factor. So there's another thing there. yeah, buying inputs from ethical people who take the most care in like producing farm inputs in a proper way. So we would also like to establish a chain of entrepreneurs who are all into the ethical side of business, so we can start to do like to cooperate more and to do business together in a way that pushes us all closer to our objective, which is to regenerate ourselves, our whereabouts, and like, you know, humanity, let's say. Units.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Yeah, recapping this, there is one trying in USA to have a regenerative organic certified. I will define this certified like as a label of organic or ecological, how is it called in Romania, carbon sequestration label, global animal partnership label, and fair trade label. So it's a sum of these 4 labels. We define regenerative agriculture as a sum of 4 labels. From a business point of view, it's quite difficult to manage, or looks difficult to manage all these labels and have profit. Let's go further. What's our farm goals? So we have basically we have 4 farm goals at Social Soufflet. One is actually if the first is soil. What actually is very hard to do is in the second, the third, and the fourth. The most energy goes there. If we are efficient, if we are successful in maximizing production per cultivated unit, increasing wear efficiency and quality of life, then we can take care of the soil natural fertility. Why I'm saying this? Because in permaculture, mostly the permaculture is understood and was embraced mostly by the urban gardeners, for example, our non-profit organization or homestead. In this kind of scale, the business model is not included, and you can make it very slow, slow action, low to regenerate the soil. But when you are working at a business model, the game is totally different. So these 4, we try to satisfy these 4 farm goals every moment, and the most time and energy consuming, I think, is maximizing of the production and increasing the work to have the sustainable to have actually the money, and then we can do the solar generation and quality of life. We're gonna speak more and more about all of this. So the components of permaculture, I think, going to the course, you're gonna see that permaculture as a science of design has these components. The most important thing is the ethics, the people care, earth care, and fair share. There are the principles, the 12 Holmgren principles, and Bill Mollison principles. If you're not, we're not gonna go through this right now. I think in Friday workshop there will be more in-depth talks about it. There is science and design principles, like science, like natural law, or design principles like Sadimet, how to do actually the design. And there is this exterior part, the shell, like the techniques and the strategy. and guess where all the action is.
Can I come in too?
Yeah.
When people ask, what is permaculture? What do you expect to do if you do permaculture? People envision actually, techniques. I'm gonna build the raised beds. I'm gonna make the Google culture. I'm gonna make a pond. These are all strategies and techniques, actually. For me, permaculture is a philosophy of life, which is the ethics and principles part. It's a philosophy of life. Historically, let's say Bill Mollison worked with a lot of Aboriginal communities in his work, and the ethics principles, like he compiled a lot of indigenous knowledge and let's say the spiritual side of their existence into these ethics. He looked at them, and everybody had respect for the people in the tribe. You had groups and groups within the tribe who took care of each other. Children took care of the other children. The grown-ups took care of the children, initiated them into manhood, etc., made them active, productive, respectful members of the society. Everybody produced. Everybody had their own house. They produced for themselves, but everybody also went hunting together. So that's the fair trade and the fair share. They used to divide the common crops. They took care of those less fortunate. They gave them jobs. Everybody led themselves. They had like active leadership. They had a form of government, and they took care of the soil. They really took care of the soil, because that soil meant food for them. It meant shelter. It meant comfort and protection from the terrible, terrible, dangerous jungle of Australia. So we have these three ethics, the philosophy of permaculture, and we try to apply them. They are universal, I guess. You can find them in religion, you can find them in ethics and moral philosophy. I guess those are pretty much universal to human existence. Because we're a local tribe, we're a global tribe now. We meet through this Zoom. We're all trying to fix up our houses, be productive members of our community, and we're all trying to live, invest, build rocket ships, colonize Mars, whatever, make nice gardens on Mars. We're trying to propagate. Just like nature is trying to replicate itself, we're also trying to replicate ourselves. And we're adapting, we're evolving, we're updating our toolkit. We're learning more and more about things. We have access to tremendous amounts of information. Everything is Googleable, everything is searchable. You have free ebooks, PDFs online everywhere. In my recent philosophy, everything is related to maths, and everything is measurable and calculable, and you can do whatever predictions you want, be it with nature or with the tools and strategies you need. Okay, you have this life philosophy, but also the design system. So the permaculture is this, on one hand, this life philosophy, the ethics and principles, and then you have the design science, which is just a fancy way of saying mixing and matching elements together so they fit together. They don't, you don't have any waste, and everything goes along very, very smoothly with, ideally, as little input from the human as possible. We are just there to put things together, and ideally they work at a perpetuum mobile scale, like nature takes over and boom, you can harvest good energies from nature, you can push away the bad energies from nature, just by placing something like this instead of like this. And permaculture is like has the perfect design systems to take techniques and strategies from all of the other sciences and put them together in a working system. It's the science of making things work ethically. So
and produce no waste.
And coming back to our farm goals, we want to regenerate the soil. On the left, we had soil regeneration, and on the right, we had quality of life. But to do that, we have to be really, really good at producing food, growing food, while also doing those things. We have to, in a busy schedule, where you can't really use all the heavy stuff that modern agriculture, you can't. I mean, it hurts my heart when I see all the tillage going on. You can't really use that, but there are ways to cover up what you're doing. like to plant master for now. Well, okay, to to have a good life and to have a healthy soil, you have to be really, really good and precise in what you're doing. Because if you screw it up, it's not only, oh, we can do it again. It's actually degrading the soil. And you don't even want that for your business, not to mention from a higher standpoint. So yeah, when you're good at this, when you're good at your business, when you have everything measured, everything is standardized, you can go on and really regenerate. So those are both investments in yourself and investment in soil care, which means, yes, missing crops, tilling crops into the ground, so not taking them to the market. You're just putting them in the ground. So your money has to come from some soil. Because look at this. This is the BCS digger, and the tool in the back is a rotary harrow, the power harrow that tills the ground. It only tills it to 10 centimeters deep, but still, it's tillage. It's something you're imposing on nature. So this surface has to be worth it. So I'm going to let you, Nuts, take you through this question. Where is the action and decision? Because we're talking about quality of life and soil, but somebody has to act and do something really efficiently.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Yeah, I think for us the answer was really clear that we have to take decision daily, many decision and many action on the technique and strategy part of the components of permaculture. So yeah, we're trying as best as we can to take ethical decision going our action. And to fulfill the permaculture principle somehow, to be in correlation with permaculture. Sometimes, yeah, it can happen to make an how you call it, a compromise. There is possibility to take compromise. As yes,